So from the intro, you know I'm an actress, and I've been in some, I'm really very professional, you guys. I've been in some things you probably know. Do you guys know Law & Order SVU? It's great, right? Yeah, I've been in Law & Order SVU as a dead body. Yes! Yes! Yeah, I mean, when the show needs a prostitute who's ethnically ambiguous from Staten Island who's dead, they think of me, Rotondi. I have that niche totally cornered. It's just me and this heroin addict from Jersey City. We both, fake dead really well. But I'm currently trying to expand my range, and I'm up for a heroin addict artist who passes out mid-sentence, so I would get a line. So please pray for me, you guys. This would be a really big deal. I've been practicing. You might see me do this the rest of the night. That's what heroin addicts do. They're not narcoleptics, they're heroin addicts. Yeah, I did a lot of research. So I, because I'm a struggling actress, I know you're like, struggling? What about all those dead bodies? Because I'm a struggling actress, comedian, I've had a lot of interesting jobs. I'm also a witchy bitch, as you can probably tell from my crystals. So it makes for some, interesting things I'm going to be talking about a little bit. My most boring job is I'm a professor. I know you're like, no, you're not. It's just in screenwriting. It's nothing serious. Occasionally acting. Yes, I am a professor, and it's really the most boring, but it also can be the most scary because I'm always worried that one of my students will be like, Ms. Rotondi, did I see you as a dead hooker and a fuchsia teddy and a Law & Order SVU marathon? No, Todd. I was just a heroin addict who died of an overdose, and drugs are bad, and you will fail unless you write a 1,000-word essay on how you're never watching Law & Order again. I'm very serious as a teacher. Yeah, it's scary. I don't want them to see anything. I now just ban they're not allowed to look me up in any way, shape, or form because there's way too much stuff out there. And you will find out some more what I'm talking about. Yes, I've had a lot of interesting jobs. One of my more interesting ones is I'm a little bit psychic, and I know what you're all thinking. You're like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I promise. I'm going to show you. I think I'm getting 60% of you are going to be in a failed threesome in the next year, just so you know. Yeah, I was dreaming about you. I right before I saw you. I saw the nose ring and everything. It'll be good at first, and then maybe leave after the first hour. There's always one person who's left out. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. But yeah, whenever I tell people I'm psychic, I get a lot of questions. A lot of male comedians will be like, if you're so psychic, when am I going to lose my virginity? I'm like, I said I was psychic. I'm not a miracle worker, okay? But if you want, I'll give you a special on a discounted reading, and I will look at your Tinder profile and tell you all the jokes that are scaring women the most. We're going to get you a date for 2025, Todd. Yeah. There's some that aren't virgins. They usually swing in the other direction, but that's a whole other story. Female comedians, we're somewhere in the middle. We do okay, but not great. That's sort of our bread and butter. We get a lot of guys who like to tell us what we should do with our jokes, and we love it. We love it. So find me and DM me. Tell me all the things I messed up tonight. I know you're the smartest guy in the office. Yeah, that's our favorite. So the most scandalous job I'd say that I've had is I used to be a dominatrix in New York, in the city. Thank you. A couple of my clients came tonight. I'll give you guys that spanking like I promised, right in the back after the show. Yeah, it's always interesting. I know you're like, Professor Rotondi, I was just taking you seriously. I've always liked foot play, and I've always been, open-minded, and I've always been broke. So just add Craigslist to that equation, and the world is your oyster. It's an interesting world, though. It's, I'm mostly retired these days, but I have lots of fun memories. The first time I went for my interview, they were like, oh, you're a body and a woman. Okay, you got it. They're like, but we want you to take place in the meet and greet, which is when all the women working meet, you know, the man of the hour who comes in, and they're like, come up with a sexy name and a sexy intro. You have 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, no pressure. They hand me a pair of 5-inch heels. I've never worn heels before. I'm like trying not to fall down, rehearsing my name and my little intro. And then I go in and I say, hi, I'm Mistress Kitty Payne. I was trying to cover both the scary and sexy bases, you know? And you're gonna have to pay for your punitive damages, motherfucker. I was trying to think of something sexy, but I could only think of those personal injury lawyer commercials, you know? Over and over and over again. And he stared at me very confused. And I just said, for a mistress who says weird shit and is titillizing and can play good dead bodies, call 1-800-ROTUNDI. I did not get that gig. But he was a film director, which was really cool. And he was making a movie. So I got to be in the movie as a dead body, but it was still a really nice, still a very nice networking situation, you know? You got to meet all sorts of crazy people there. Very, very fun world. So how's everybody doing after our last few weeks? I am so not a political comic, but since we're, you know, when in Rome or when in a, you know, fascist country, I just, you know, I'm not, don't worry, I'm not gonna get too political. I'm just gonna say a fun intro, you know, some positive things. I've been trying to think of the positive silver linings, you know, what? Yeah, well, just everything that's going on. Maybe we'll be fascist, I don't know. But keep these things in mind. If, you know, remember that I said these things. So, if we, you know, no matter what happens, we'll always have rainbows, and we'll always have chocolate and ice cream and good sex. You know, they can't take that away for a thing. Yeah, right? So we, you know, don't worry, they won't take that away. And I've been thinking of some other kind of interesting ones, like when Joe Rogan becomes the secretary of crypto, you know, because that's happening, by the way.